Hey guys, this is Comics G-Man. Welcome to another news reading. This is going to be on July 21st, 2026, and we're going to see what the hell is going on with the Super family, so stay tuned. Right, so I was looking through the news scroll, and there was a couple that I thought were interesting. For instance, I saw this one by the direct.com. Thought it was kind of weird, actually, what it says, so let's go over it. Superstar Millie Alcock admits she's not ready to be idolized by DC fans. You guys only know a certain part of me. Supergirl herself, Millie Alcock, is not necessarily looking to be placed on a pedestal for her work in the DCU. So I don't think she said that, but the way this writer, Nathan Johnson, wrote it, it's very strange. Alright, so let's see what's going on here. Supergirl and DCU actress Millie Alcock recently stated that fans aren't entirely familiar with her yet, and because of that, she is scared to be idolized by DC and comic book fans for her work in James Gunn's new DCU. Supergirl is the talk of the town within the DCU community at the moment, largely due to its recent theatrical release on June 26 and the fact that it has severely underperformed at the box office. DC Studio CEO and DC creative mastermind, that's debatable, James Gunn handpicked Alcock to portray Supergirl after she appeared in House of the Dragon Season 1. And Supergirl is integral to the future of the DCU, so the character is still going to be featured heavily in the future. And this is me here. Let's hope they do her a lot better justice in Man of Tomorrow. In the latest issue of SFX magazine, Supergirl star Millie Alcock was interviewed for her lead role in the DC Studios movie. When asked if she was ready to be idolized, as many comic book movie superstars often are following their appearance in a major superhero movie, the actress said that she was absolutely not ready for that. I'd like to know the full context of what she said. Let's see. Notably, Alcock added that she is shit scared to be put up on a pedestal like other DC and Marvel actors, largely because fans only know a certain part of her. Alright, let's see the actual quote. Quote, "No, absolutely not. Shit scared. I think it's because I know all of me. You guys only know a certain part, and that's a frightening thing to be met with that." That's a bit like coded, right? Of course, fans aren't going to know you completely. They're only going to know what they see on the movie or TV show. Now, I'm sure people who watch her on House of Dragon, which I don't, they probably feel like they know more of her than somebody like me who just watched her for the first time on Supergirl. So I get what she's saying, but I don't really get what she's saying. Like, it sounds like she's trying to be a little pretentious here, not really sure. For a lot of fans, especially those on the younger side, actors are looked up to because of the types of characters they portray in superhero films. Most of the time, superheroes are depicted as always making the right decision, selfless, and as the embodiment of correct morals. Alcock stated that she always loved the original Annie when she was growing up, but didn't really have an icon that she looked up to in that kind of way. Quote, she says, "I love the original Annie. I don't know why. I was never an orphan, but they always have that in children's films. Dead parents. Every character I've played has had dead parents, which I think is very interesting, but I didn't really idolize people growing up. I didn't really have an icon that I looked up to in that kind of way." I get what she's saying there. I feel the same way, because I don't think it's that, like, when I was a child, I didn't really, like, idolize an actor. I just really loved, like, what they did in the movie, you know? But idolize, it is kind of ridiculous if you idolize them. They are human beings. I get what people are saying, but, and as I got older, of course, like, it's really not, I guess you could say I idolize comic book characters, right? I mean, I guess, you know, I hope that's not a form of idolatry. The DCU star also admitted that it has been scary to play such a major character in a franchise like the DCU, especially because Gunn had so much confidence in her. However, she also revealed that her own confidence grew on set. even though she was a bit unsure of herself in the beginning. She says here, quote, I mean, it's all scary, it's all intimidating, but it's exciting. It's both. I think that confidence was something that grew on set, and it's continuing to ebb and flow. It wasn't like, oh yeah, I got this. Yeah, no shit. Yeah. The actress, quote, had an interesting relationship with playing Supergirl, describing it as meta. However, when she got into the swing of things, Alcock revealed that she saw a lot of herself in the character. Quote, I had an interesting relationship with playing her. It was kinda meta. Her inability or want to be a hero, and then her resolve. I think I surprisingly saw a lot of myself. In the past, Milcock has gone on record saying that she read the Woman of Tomorrow comic book story in preparation for the film, since the movie is a rather faithful adaptation of that story. Debatable. However, she revealed that she did not read any other Supergirl comics because the overwhelm of information and options and expectations would have affected her own performance. I could see that. I think that makes a lot of sense what she said. I mean, she was just trying to stay focused, so I don't blame her for saying that. Quote, she says, you know what? I didn't. Please don't hate me for saying that, but I could just see how the overwhelm of information and options and expectations wouldn't have allowed me to access a place of truth. At the end of the day, that's the heart and the soul of my job. She's not wrong. I actually agree with that because, I don't know, did Tobey Maguire read Spider-Man comics? I don't know if he did or not. I know Sam Raimi was a big fan of Spider-Man comics, but he was a director. So, to me it's optional. An actor doesn't have to know the comics as long as the director knows what the character is and they, you know what I mean? But at least she read Woman of Tomorrow, even though that's the worst iteration of Supergirl. At least she read that. And I don't blame her because, she's probably Millie is probably a fan of this stuff. She took the job and she just needed to get a little background of what character she's going to play. So she read the book that the movie is based on. I wouldn't expect her to be like, okay, Millie, you got to read Paul Kupperberg's run, then you got to read, when she came back as Matrix, then you got to read Peter David, then you got to read this, that, that would be too much because it is an overload of information. She's not wrong, especially if she isn't a default fan of comic books to begin with. So, no, me personally, I don't expect the actors to actually be fans of this stuff. I don't like it if they aren't fans and they, act like it. If they're faking, showing you reading a book. But in this case, she's telling you the truth. She's saying, don't hate me for saying that, but I could just see how the overwhelm with information and options and expectations wouldn't have allowed me to access a place of truth. I mean, whatever she means by that, the truth is she had to play the, the worst iteration of Kara. So if she read anything else, yeah, it probably would have fucked her up because she'd probably be playing the role and be like, I read the Peter David run, and Kara would not do this, she would not do that. So yeah, I don't blame her at all for doing that. I think that's actually really smart on her part. When will Supergirl return in the DCU? Man of Tomorrow, we already know that. As mentioned, Supergirl has not seen any success at the box office, meaning that fans likely won't be seeing another solo film featuring the character anytime soon. However, one of the great things about the DCU is that it is an interconnected universe, meaning characters can make appearances in film. Yeah, we know. Because David Cornsweet's Superman appeared in Supergirl, the end of the film set up that Supergirl will be returning in a future Man of Tomorrow. Luckily for Kara fans, Alcock already confirmed that we already know. Alcock being in Man of Tomorrow wouldn't be a surprise, but after that movie is released, she will have been showcased in 3 DCU films. That indicates that Gunn views Supergirl as extremely important to the entirety of the DCU, which likely means that she will be showing up in other projects in the future as well. Well, I'm glad to hear about that. Even though James Gunn fucked up big time, I'm glad he feels that she's an important character. However, how he's delivering, how he's executing Supergirl in this vision of the DCU, bad. But I think they could make up for it in Man of Tomorrow, but I don't think it's going to be a big success. I think this really fucked up DC. I really think Supergirl, this box office catastrophe, really almost destroyed Warner Bros. image of these movies, and I think a lot of people are going to be uninterested to see these movies, and I don't blame them. So let's see what else is going on here. Why I need DC's Clayface to be a huge success, and it has nothing to do with Supergirl. In Matt Hagen's drooping face we trust. Honestly, you want to know my opinion on Clayface? I think it's an original idea. Well, that's debatable. I think it's a cool idea to have a Clayface movie in a horror fashion. But is this the time for it? No. And now that I heard that the Batman Part 2 with Robert Pattinson has been delayed, this is bad, dude. Like, that's bad. I feel like at least if the Robert Pattinson Batman Part 2 movie was to come out this year, before the end of 26, I think it would save DC's image. But the fact that I've read now that they've pushed it to February of 2028 or something, what? That's fucked up. Do you guys see that? The Batman with Robert Pattinson came out in 2022. And it's coming out in 2028 now? DC is, they're fucked. They're fucked. I don't think this is going to save it. I think it'll make up money. I don't think Clayface is going to lose money. They put $40 million towards it. I think they could easily make 80, 100 million, maybe 120 million. It might be a big success. Maybe. I don't know. But sincerely, I do not think this is going to save the DC. I think the Supergirl movie was a big fuck up. It's going to be historic. They're going to be talking about this 10 years from now. How this, it wasn't the Snyderverse and all of that stuff that ruined DC. It was Supergirl, unfortunately. When will Supergirl come to streaming, Blu-ray, and DVD? I am actually curious about this, because I want to watch this on HBO Max, just to watch it in my room, just for shits and giggles. Typically a little over a month between theatrical and digital. Superman flew into theaters. It was released January, blah, 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 blah. When will Supergirl be available on Blu-ray, DVD? Probably in September. When will Supergirl be available to stream on HBO Max? Doesn't really say. Let's see the thread. Ask no one. Asked me, actually. Wasn't going to watch it at a cinema, but I'll happily watch it once it hits streaming. Still angry about that needle drop being a crappy cover of the Jimmy Eats World song, The Middle. Couldn't find a song written and performed by a woman-led rock punk band. I know it's super hard to find kick-butt woman rockers now, excuse me, while I listen to some Or how about you don't need punk rock for that moment? You could have just had a really fucking epic song, like an orchestral music. You don't need it to be a fucking song every minute. I'm just saying. Because like Superman 25, when they had those epic fights, like with Ultraman, it was like just orchestral orgasms, bro. Like, right? Like, you didn't need a song. So when they had the Supergirl movie, you didn't need a song. You could have like orchestral music, Let's see what Kevin says. Keep praying and pretending that any of your isolated ranting matters. Oh, wait, let's go with this first. That little alien thing. Who cares about this trash movie? It gotta be the worst DC movie ever released. Oh my god, this sad me utterly hates superhero movies, and I don't think anything will fix that. Streaming and DVD Blu-ray ain't gonna save it from the failure that it already is. Just ignore it and let it sink into obscurity where it belongs. And Kevin responds, keep praying and pretending that any of your isolated ranting matters. Supergirl was always going to do better on streaming and physical release, since TV is already where her audience base is accustomed to seeing her. Thanks to the CW series, which is still airing successfully on Netflix. That's bullshit, though, man. I'm a fucking Supergirl fan. I fucking like the CW show, and I went to see it in the movies. So, like, there's probably just not enough of us CW fans that went, there's a lot of the CW fans that exist of Supergirl. We all went to see the movie but it wasn't a lot of us. I don't think it's a lot of people anymore. And that's bullshit, man, because I went to see it. I saw it fucking 3 times. No, 4 times I saw Supergirl. Saw it in IMAX, Dolby Cinema, 3D, and I forgot what the other one was. But yeah, I saw it in like 4 different ways in the movies. Alright? So go fuck yourself. And then this guy goes on. The MAGA influencers and revenge haters have now moved on to hating Nolan loudly, since their orange hero still needs pop culture distractions from the Epstein files and his other numerous crimes. Alright, Kevin, you got me there, dude. That's pretty based. Kevin, that's based. Like, I think you're right about that. I don't disagree with you at that at all. Because 1, I'm not a MAGA influencer. And 2, I'm not a revenge hater. I'm just a super Supergirl fan, and I want better for her. I really do. I absolutely love Supergirl. I know I repeat myself, but I want my viewers to know that I'm just one of those guys. Like, I'm just a fucking fan of Supergirl. Love her. Love her. So no, I'm not a revenge hater. I just want better for Supergirl. Don't want her to become obscure. I want them to just do a better job on Man of Tomorrow, and I think they will. And I'm not a MAGA influencer, and I don't hate Nolan. I'm kind of like neutral about the whole Odyssey controversy that's going on. It seems like the whole Elliot Page thing and the woman that they got playing Helen of Troy was kind of a marketing ploy on their part. And apparently they're not even in the movie that long. Like Elliot is like 5 minutes. Helen of Troy is like 5 minutes or 10 minutes. So it was like just a hook to get people into the movie, I think. Don't hate Nolan. I'm sure Odyssey's really good, but I'm not a fan of Matt Damon. And seeing Matt Damon as Odysseus, I don't know, kind of a hard sell for me. That's just me. Alright, so, and he goes on, box office never means content quality, but of course, that's never stopped breathless amateur number crunchers from insisting otherwise, as if the ideas of cult status successes like Star Trek never actually existed. Yeah, he's not wrong. And I said the same things in a lot of my videos, like, I'm not actually somebody who bases, like, my like of a movie on how the box office did. You know, like, that did used to piss me off a lot, but to me, the Supergirl thing, it is pretty important, because it's the thing with it is, it's the amount of money that they put towards it and what they needed to break even, at least. They're not even getting close. So the reason why the box office is important, if you are an actual fan and want Supergirl to succeed and flourish, they failed and they didn't get their money back, not even, and they're not even making a profit off of Supergirl. So from that failure, how could you expect Supergirl to get another good solo movie? Like, do you see my logic on that? You know what I mean? Like, I don't care if the Supergirl movie becomes a cult classic now. It failed. It failed Supergirl. It failed any future projects that Supergirl could be in, because they're not going to make any Supergirl movies again for a long time, if ever in my lifetime. So at the very least, she's just going to be showing up like in Man of Tomorrow, any other future projects if James Gunn doesn't get fired. So to me, the box office is only important to measure it in that circumstance. But I agree, you know, it doesn't mean like, if I like a movie and the box office sucks, it's an art thing. It's an art thing. If I just like the movie because of how it expresses itself, how I feel about it, regardless of the box office, yes, absolutely. But as a Supergirl fan, the box office is very important, because now we're not going to get more Supergirl movies. I mean, not that I would want a Supergirl movie in this fashion ever again. But, if the Man of Tomorrow movie did good, and Supergirl was like a different, like, she matured from this movie, and it's like maybe they make a second Supergirl movie, and it's an iteration of her maturing from that experience, and she's like going to be in the super suit for 90% of the movie, like, I think that would be great. But we're not going to get it, because now they lost all that money, and they says, shit, we can't make another Supergirl movie because look at how we failed with the first one. Do you understand that concept, Kevin? Kevin, you're half based and half stupid. You know, you got some good points, but you're stupid on other points. Okay? Let's see what this guy says. Kevin. Oh, this guy responds to Kevin Tom. Oh my god, you can't resist making a political statement about a movie. This has nothing to do with MAGA or Trump. This is all on James Gunn, who seems to be more interested in directing than being a CEO of DC Movies. He said no movie gets made unless the script is approved. 1. Apparently he didn't bother to approve this script. In other words, he dropped the ball. Gunn needs to decide to actually run DC or hand over to someone who will. Anyway, there's a rumor if the Paramount Warner's deal goes through, he's leaving anyways. Right. And then Kevin responds to Thomas. Nope and nope. MAGA influencers went all in ambushing this movie months ahead of release. No, but that's ridiculous, dude, because even though I had my suspicions of the movie like years ago, I eventually came to the conclusion. I even made a video like about it a little bit before the movie came out that I was expecting at least the IMAX movie to be epic in that form. I wanted Supergirl to do good because I love her. So, but the reality is, the pattern is, Supergirl was not going to be a good movie. I mean, just the fact that it was based off of the Tom King source was enough to kind of say this is a bad sign. So he goes on. Funny now that their culture war grift got brutally owned by Christopher Nolan and his new flick. Otto, part of Gunn's current job is to help hype movies that DC Studios had already put in development before he got there, i.e. The Flash and now Supergirl. But The Flash was a commercial failure as well. What are you talking about? Originally, Supergirl was supposed to be a spin-off of The Flash. ABD never intended to spin off of Superman. Studio already had screenwriter Anna Nogueira contractually attached before Gunn ever came aboard. Your blind finger-pointing is all smoke, designed to distract that internal politics may also play a hand in Supergirl's terrible marketing campaign. A pending glad-handing merger by billionaires and the Saudis is already running afoul of state antitrust laws and also in the UK. That corruption is not Gunn's fault at all because, yes, politics does have a hand in entertainment options. Cry harder. Actually, that's fascinating. Unfortunately, they haven't talked to each other any further. But you know what? I'll save this page and maybe I'll look at it in the future. Because I'm actually curious. That's a pretty cool point. A pending glad-handing merger by billionaires and the Saudis is already running afoul of state antitrust laws. Is he talking about Paramount or something? Or anybody understand what Kevin is saying there? Sounds juicy. Sounds interesting. I'm actually curious. If anybody knows what he's talking about, please enlighten me. Was there anything else on that? No. Alright, so let's move on to Superman news. See if there's anything going on there. 2 days ago, a day ago, 2 days ago, 2 days ago. Let me go back a bit. Star of huge DCEU bomb to appear in Superman Man of Tomorrow. That's the Blue Beetle's coming back. Jack Quaid breaks down that devastating 5th episode of My Adventures with Superman. He's out of his depth. Huh? What does he mean he's out of his depth? Is he talking bad about episode 5? The Boy Star talks about the climactic episode episode 5 and the one scene he wishes he could be a part of. Oh, okay, I don't care. Wait, do Rick Devens and James Gunn actually know each other? Yes, and they had Superman plans. Don't know who that is. An unexpected Superman ally just got a deadly power upgrade that could change everything. James Gunn reveals which Big Brother 28 reality icon canceled the Secret Superman cameo. Before Superman, Lex Luthor actor Nicholas Hoult starred in one of the best zombie movies ever made. Do I care? Not really. Zolo Maraduena returns as Blue Beetle in Superman Man of Tomorrow. That's not him, is it? He looks different. Superman 2 set photo includes a DC villain Easter egg I did not expect. fans are already finding direct connections between Man of Tomorrow and characters from Superman. A location directly tied to Ultraman from 2025's Superman film has officially made an appearance on the set of James Gunn's Man of Tomorrow, proving how the upcoming movie will have at least one connection to Ultraman. Ultraman played a rather large role in Superman, going up against the Man of Steel in combat multiple times. The movie kept Ultraman's comic story, as it was revealed that he was a clone of Superman. Now, Ultraman may not be returning Man of Tomorrow, seeing as he was sent into a black hole by Superman, but that doesn't mean the upcoming film won't feature different connections to him. As shared by DCU Brief via X, a fan recently discovered an Ultraman connection on the set of Man of Tomorrow. Specifically, this connection came in the form of an in-universe poster or advertisement that could be seen on what appears to be the side of a bus tram stop in Metropolis Man of Tomorrow. Oh, what, they get rid of it? You can't see the picture, man. They made him get rid of it. Specifically, the poster was for an inverse business called Do's Holes Donuts, which has locations all throughout Metropolis. The background and advertisement featured different types of donuts. Notably, Do's Holes Donuts. That sounds really weird. That sounds really weird. Is that one of James Gunn's weird jokes? Was mentioned in Superman and directly connected to Ultraman. One of the times Lex Luthor was meeting with Vasil Gurkos, the president of Bravia, Lex offered the president a donut. Alright. Lex mentioned Do's Holes by name, saying, "I got you a donut from Do's Holes." The connection between Do's Holes and Ultraman is that Ultraman was the one holding the donut. Oh, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Alright, we're stretching here, guys. The fact that a Do's Holes ad was spotted on the Man of Tomorrow set may seem insignificant, but if it proves that Gunn and the rest of the DCU crew are making sure to stay consistent with the new universe and make everything feel as though it is real, what are you going on about? The fuck is this? Fuck you. Alright, let's see this there. I put in DCU news. Let's see what's going on. Another major delay spells doom for James Gunn's DCU. That's the Batman delay that I was talking about. We already read that 7 days ago. Latest DCU rumor spotlights Mitchell Sligert, but is he the next Batman? Don't care. DC Studios' Lantern's villain is a complete game changer for the DCU. Oh man, is that spoilers? Lanterns might be setting up something huge for the DCU with its villain. Alright guys, let's read about Lanterns here. DCU might be looking to the future with its choice of villain in the upcoming series, Lanterns. The HBO show is the next release in DC Studios' new DCU, following Supergirl and Superman. And while the series may seem totally distinct and separate from the main interconnected narrative, it's putting some pieces into play. One particular piece is the inclusion of Lantern's villain, confirmed to be Thal Sinestro, played by Ulrich Thompson. Ooh. Who's Ulrich Thompson? Let's look him up. I've seen him before. I've seen Ulrich. But where did I see you before? I have seen Ulrich. Weird. I've seen him. I don't know what I've seen him in. I guess he's been hinted at and confirmed to play an important role, with Thompson expected to appear in every episode of Lanterns. It's been revealed that Sinestro will be Hal Jordan, Kyle Chandler, former mentor in Lanterns, and that his training of Hal will bring up some interesting questions for the Green Lantern. What did Hal take away from Sinestro that was good or bad? It brings up a lot of interesting worries. While Sinestro's inclusion in Lanterns is exciting, it's not exactly new territory. Is the DCU preparing for the Legion of Doom? Alright, so that's cool. We got enough of that. The DCU's While This New Show has cast a major villain. Here's everything we know. Oh, this is about the Jimmy Olsen show. Do you want to read about it? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Look, I'm not going to prejudge this. You know, like, this actually might end up being a really fucking funny show. You know what I mean? Like, everybody's down about it. And it probably is going to be shitty. But I'll be honest with you, you never know, dude. You never know. Might hit something. Clayface's timeline. Don't care. Clayface's DCU timeline now confirmed, and I'm so excited hearing about our first look at Gotham City. I don't really give a shit. Alright guys, so I think that covers the news. The comic book news. Let me know your thoughts and comments. I hope you enjoyed this reading today. I hope you enjoyed this report. Like, subscribe, comment as you see fit. Please, you're driving me mad. I'm talking to myself, yeah. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Have a good night.